teased him about being weak and said he should watch me in corner. He got really mad and did this.
Ever been in a situation where a little teasing spirals into a full-blown disaster? A situation whereby you did something wrong to a particular person, and they retaliated by making sure you absolutely regretted it. Have you ever been in a situation where the person sets a trap for you and carefully weaves a web of deceit for weeks just so you can absolutely ruin your relationship? Because if you've not been in a situation like that, you should thank your lucky stars. Why am I saying this? Because I have been, and I think it might just ruin my relationship. I think my relationship is done for, but I honestly don't want it to be so. My name is Rose, and I've got a story that'll make you think twice before poking fun at someone. I'm posting here because I want to rant, and also because any advice would be appreciated. I'm 26 years old, and my boyfriend Nathan is also 26. We met on Tinder, found out we went to the same college, clicked instantly, and soon found ourselves deep in a serious relationship. We have been dating for about 5 years now. I genuinely thought this was the person I would marry and spend the rest of my life with. Now, Nathan was a great guy, kind, caring, and always looking out for me. But one day I made a playful jab at him, calling him weak in a moment of jest. Little did I know that harmless comment would set off a chain reaction of revenge and deceit. Now, I know you might be wondering, why did you mock him? Honestly, I was partially being playful. And there was also the fact that Nathan had always been known as a bit of a simp. He always went out of his way to please me and make sure I was happy. This had even led to a few of our friends even playfully mocking me and calling him a simp. He didn't mind though, and would even joke along with them. I guess I always took Nathan's love and devotion for granted. He was like a rock in my life, always there to support me, always putting my needs before his own. It's easy to get comfortable in a relationship, isn't it? You start to believe that things will always be the same, that your partner will always be by your side no matter what. The day everything changed started off like any other. We were casually chatting, joking around about someone or something. I honestly don't recall the details. In the midst of our banter, I playfully teased Nathan, saying he should watch his back because I might just leave him for someone else. It was meant to be a lighthearted remark, a playful jab in the midst of our laughter. Nathan laughed and said I would never leave him, to which I then playfully said that I just might. I said he was weak and a bit of a simp, so he should probably watch me. It was all jokes, honestly, but Nathan's reaction caught me off guard. Instead of laughing it off, he fell silent. I could sense a shift in the air, a subtle tension that hadn't been there before. It was as if my words had struck a nerve and awakened something within him that he had kept hidden. Looking back now, I realize how insensitive my comment was. Nathan had always gone above and beyond to make me happy, to show me love in ways both big and small. Calling him weak and a simp in that moment was like dismissing everything he had ever done for me. It was a wake-up call, not just for him, but for me too. It made me realize the weight of my words and the impact they could have on our relationship. But little did I know this innocent banter would set off a series of events that would change things between us. After my playful banter with Nathan, things between us started. Dear Redditors, there's nothing more painful than watching the home you fought hard to build being broken by your own partner. Sure, I am not a saint, but I did not expect my wife to throw away our 30 long years of relationship just because she wanted to feel young again. It's always easier to destroy things, but it's never easy to build them up. I still don't understand how 3 decades worth of dedication was broken in just a few weeks. My name is Paul, and I'm a 50 years old man who is married to Florence, a 49 years old woman. Florence and I met when we were in college, and we just hit it off immediately. We dated for 5 years and have been married for 25 years. We literally just celebrated our 25 years anniversary last weekend. I know you all are wondering why I'm writing this message when we just had a huge 25 years anniversary celebration. Well, my wife has decided to make decisions that are only breaking our marriage. She's cheating on me, and I know it. I know it because I have caught her in the act many times. I just don't know why this is happening to me or why she is doing it. It does not make sense. She does not know that I know yet, and that is only because I am taking my time to process what she did. I'll be needing advice from Reddit as I try to get to the bottom of this. I could just let her know now and end our marriage, but it's not that easy. 30 years of being with one person is not something you can just throw away. The man she is cheating on me with is young. Yes, he's very young. He should be at least 20 years younger than her. I'm certain if I had knocked her up when we were in college, she would have been able to give birth to his age mate. I'm disgusted by just thinking about it. The fact that our anniversary was just a few days ago makes me wonder if this whole thing has been going on long before our anniversary. My wife now sings in the shower and wears makeup. Listen, I'm not against makeup, and I've never been against it. She can wear it if she wants. But I don't understand why she's suddenly wearing it after stopping for years. I mean, at first I thought she was just trying to experiment her youth all over again. But then I realized that she was wearing makeup to go see her new lover. I caught her sneaking out of the house many times in the night. I'd wake up and she'd be nowhere to be found in the house. I'm frustrated because I want to say something, but I just can't right now. I need to be patient to know my next steps. So far, I know she's cheating with a younger man and I know his name. I also know that she sneaked out of the house at night and came back at dawn. This is vital information I'd need when I finally want to catch her in the act. I'm not going to let her ruin our marriage without facing the consequences. I'm going to keep you guys updated every single chance I get. Please let me know the next steps I should take. Update, I'm super grateful to everyone that has taken their time to let me know what I should do. I've seen some very vital advice that I do not take for granted at all. Now let me let you all know what has been going on during these past few days. My wife has not stopped seeing her lover, and things have intensified between them. She doesn't even try to hide the relationship. It's almost like she wants me to know she's cheating or she likes the adrenaline she's getting from it. Yesterday we were having dinner, and then she asked me what I thought about oral sex. I was shocked and confused at the same time. I did not expect her to ask me such a question. My wife and I have never engaged in oral sex before, so I did not expect her to tell me one of her favorite sex activities is oral sex. I saw how she smiled and continued eating after she asked the question. She definitely wanted to get a reaction out of me, so I ignored her and continued eating my dinner. In the evening yesterday, she was in the shower moaning out loud. When I say she was moaning, I mean it. It was not a painful moan, it was sexual. I heard it loud and clear, and it was not just once. It kept recurring again and again. I even had to leave the room because I got annoyed. Some of you might ask why I did not go to the shower and see why my wife was moaning. That's because I already knew why she was moaning. I heard her talking to someone and I was sure it was a phone call because her phone was not in the bedroom. My wife was definitely calling her lover yesterday. The way she's disrespecting our marriage is very disgusting. She's not hiding any of it, and that's how I know that my wife must have been cheating on me for a very long time. Just like you all advised in the comments section, I'm going to try my best to catch her in the act by following her one of these days. If that does not work, I'll definitely confront her and see what kind of excuse she comes up with. I heard her over the phone planning a date with him. I think she's going to be sneaking out of the house tonight. I'm definitely going to see what she's up to. Before I forget, some of you asked if we have children. Yes, we do. We have 2 children, a boy and a girl. They are both in college now. That's all for today, guys. Expect another update soon. Update. My dear Redditors, I did as I promised and followed my wife out 2 nights ago. I think I made a very big mistake by following her because what I saw was very devastating. That night I had to pretend I was asleep before she left the house. She got dressed in a very revealing outfit, then she wore a coat over it and left the house. I got dressed after she left too and decided to go on foot. I don't have an exotic car, I have a truck. It's old and rusty and I'm 100% confident that if I'd taken that truck, I would have woken the whole neighborhood. It was hard to keep up with my wife on foot and at some point I lost her. I did not see her on the road again, so I got confused on where to go. It took time, but I was able to find out where she was. She called a taxi and left, so I had to call a taxi too. My taxi followed hers for almost 10 minutes, and it was exhausting. She finally stopped at what seemed like a secluded neighborhood. I was worried for a minute because the neighborhood looked suspicious. I did not imagine that my wife chose a gangster as her boyfriend. I'd never seen him up close, but from the neighborhood we stopped at that night, I knew he had to be some young guy in a gang or something. My wife was not worried for her safety at all. She strolled into the neighborhood like she had lived there all her life. At that moment, I believed that my wife must have been under a spell. Yes, I know how delusional that sounds, but what do you expect me to say? I did not like the neighborhood or the sight of my wife greeting the neighbors like they were longtime friends. I felt disrespected and jealous. I'm still jealous even as I write this. Florence got into a particular house that was almost secluded from the rest. I had to hide behind a tree for a long time, waiting for her to come out. I hoped she would come out fast because, dear Redditors, I was in a very suspicious neighborhood. At that moment, I knew that if I was seen spying on my wife in a neighborhood she was very familiar with, I could have been beaten up. I did not trust my wife not to have me killed. She was already cheating on me, so I did not trust her at all. After almost an hour of waiting, she left the house with the man I'd seen her with before. They were smiling happily and his hands were wrapped around her shoulders. I will be very honest, he is a good-looking man. He has strong muscles and very good teeth. He was also very touchy with her. He was touching almost all parts of her body at once as he whispered something into her ear. I watched as my wife blushed and practically snuggled her head on his shoulders. I was disgusted by how shameless my wife was. She did not even care to check if anyone was watching them. They acted like they were the only ones in the world. I felt like taking up a stone and throwing it at them. Rude. I know, but no one wants to see the woman they are married to blushing and snuggling up to a younger man like she was still in high school. I even began to suspect that my wife was stealing from me. Yes, I had every reason to suspect that. There could be a higher possibility that she was giving money to her new lover. The guy looked like a stripper who lost his way in life. Don't judge my ability to judge him. If you found your wife cheating on you, you definitely understand what I feel right now. I get what might have tempted her. He's young and all, but he looked like a bad idea. He had good looks, but I swear he looked like a criminal. Yes, Reddit, you read that right. I'm judging him. I'm fucking judging him. They were just touching, but it almost felt like I was watching porn. My wife grabbed his neck and kissed him. She kissed him slowly and passionately. I feel disgusted even writing this, and I have wished to unsee everything I saw that night. I waited for them to finish that night, so I could finally go because I had seen enough, but it did not end there. The young-looking criminal guy gripped my wife's ass like the fool he was. My stupid wife did not try to stop him. She leaned into his touch and smiled from ear to ear. I was fucking pissed. The fact that my wife and I had sex the night before and she was doing that with no conscience at all made me very disgusted. The stupid guy grabbed her hands, then whispered something in her ear again. My wife nodded her head, and then they went back inside. I don't think I need to read my faith to know what they sent back inside to do. I was already full, so I turned around and headed back for the road. I almost got caught by two guys who were sitting around smoking. They stopped me and asked who I was and what I was doing there. I had to lie that I was a delivery man who came to deliver pizza. I practically ran from there that night. When I got home, I could barely contain the anger I felt. All because of my wife, I had to lie to claim I was a delivery man. Not once in my life did I imagine myself sneaking after my wife at night. My dear Redditors, do you see how fucked up this whole thing is? I don't even know what to do. Imagine the amount of anger and annoyance I feel right now. That night, I almost broke our wedding picture and threw it out. I wanted to pack my wife's belongings outside the house at that very moment. I practically watched her sexually interact with another man. I was there, and I watched it live and direct. I don't need any facts or investigation. I don't need any evidence. I saw it with my own eyes. There's nothing my wife could say that would validate any of what she did. It was not her being drunk, and it was not a one-time thing. For her to know the neighbors in that neighborhood, it had to have been going on for a very long time. She has been cheating on me way before our anniversary. I don't need to have any evidence at all. That night, I made sure I thought of a plan before my wife came back home. I wanted to find out more about her cheating and why she was doing it. The betrayal I felt was very bad. I was practically heartbroken because of what I saw. My wife and I have been married for too long. She should have thought about that before doing what she did. When my wife came home in the morning, I was tempted to ask her where she had been. I was so close to confronting her, but I had to control myself. I did not want to confront her, then have her lead in my face or try to defend her actions. I have seen many movies of how cheaters turn everything around. This was not a movie, but I did not want to underestimate my wife at all. I knew that our children were going to be coming back home from their college break, so I had to hatch up a plan first. I planned to expose her in front of our children and see just how embarrassed she would be. Yes, I do not have a conscience in this regard. I plan to be as ruthless as she is, But first, I want to ask my dear Redditors what you all think. Do you all think it's better for me to confront Florence and let her know I know she's cheating, or it's better I just expose her in front of our kids? These are the two options I've been stuck with for the past few days. To be honest, living with my wife under my roof and sharing the same space with her has been very hard. I don't even care about her touch or laugh at her stupid jokes. I'm disgusted by every single thing she's been doing. I think this is why it's better to confront her and let her know that I know the truth. That way, she can stop pretending and acting like everything is all right when it's not. She's acting like a teenage girl who's love-struck. A woman who has 2 children and has been married for over 25 years should know better. If I expose her in front of my kids, I will not feel a single bit of guilt. I'll act nonchalantly the same way she acted nonchalantly when her criminal-looking lover groped her ass in front of people. If anyone knew me in that neighborhood, they'd think I'm the biggest fool to exist on this planet. What irks me more is the fact that she had the audacity to pretend like she loves me and is not cheating on me. If I did not know about her cheating, I'd have foolishly thought my wife was falling in love with me all over again, lol. So, my dear Redditors, please let me know what you think I should do. All your comments are very much appreciated, and I'd love nothing more than to reply to all of them if I have the chance. This is very important to me, guys. Please help me. Update. My dear Redditors, I see that this post has gotten a lot of recognition. Thank you all for your wonderful ideas and suggestions. I'm really thankful to you all. This experience has been traumatizing, but the funny comments of all the Redditors had me laughing out loud. I did not expect some of the names Florence is being called in the comments. Even her criminal boyfriend was not spared at all. I like that very much, lol. Well, it's time for me to give you guys an update. Most of you suggested that it's better I confronted my wife first before letting my children know. I thought about it a lot, and after some time, I believed that was the best option too. Some of you also said it's better I follow my wife to her lover's house and catch them red-handed before confronting her, so I'd have a lot of evidence to back up my claims. I mean, what better evidence than being caught in the act? I really liked the idea, so I decided to go with it. It took me time to know what my wife was up to because she started hiding to make her calls. I believe that she got suspicious and decided to hide when calling her lover. I did not let that stop me, though. It took time, but I was finally able to eavesdrop on her conversation with him. I found out they were planning to meet up at his friend's apartment. I was happy to hear that because I did not want to go back to that neighborhood again. The chances of them catching me the second time was very high. On the day of their planned date, my wife did something that surprised me. I was practically spooked at how confident she was when she stood in front of me and lied to my face. She told me she was going to get some gifts for our children that were going to be back in 2 weeks. I asked her if she was sure, and she said yes. She even asked me if I wanted to go with her to get the gifts. That was intentional on her part because she was very aware of the fact that I had to be at work that day. She knew I could not say yes, so that was why she asked. I pretended to be sad I could not follow her, then bade her goodbye. I did not go to work that day and already told one of my colleagues to cover for me. I did not follow my wife immediately because I checked her phone the previous day and knew exactly where she was going to meet up with her lover. I spent another hour hailing a taxi and going to the address I'd seen on her phone. When I got to the apartment, I was very angry. I didn't even know why I suddenly got angry all over again. The fact that my wife had the nerve to lie to me that morning was very disgusting. My dear Redditors, you needed to have seen how my veins were practically protruding on my neck. Who would have thought that a 50-year-old man like me would have to go around looking for his 49-year-old wife because he found out she's cheating on him with a man much younger than him? I felt embarrassed on my behalf as I made my way to the door of the apartment. I still remember the looks people were giving me because I spent a lot of time at the door, contemplating whether I was making the right decision or not. I stopped second-guessing myself when I heard the sounds that were coming out of the apartment. I could hear the disgusting moans and stifled screams, and it was just too much for me to stomach. I did not think twice before banging on the door. The moans stopped immediately, and then I could hear the tussle inside. At that point, they were struggling to get dressed. The criminal-looking guy even cussed and hissed. The fool had the audacity to tell Florence that whoever was at the door had to have come for important business, or else he would punch them in the face. The guy had the audacity to say that to a woman he was not even married to. Immediately, the door was unlocked. I had to hold in the punch that I wanted to land in the guy's face. He was in his boxer briefs and his hair was ruffled. Even a 14-year-old child could guess what they had going on before I came there. My dear Redditors, you cannot even imagine that the guy had the audacity to ask me what the fuck I wanted. I did not speak at first because I had to stare at his face and whole body just to imagine what had gotten into my wife. I had to ask myself what went wrong that she decided to shake our home because of the young guy who looked like he did not have his life figured out. I took a deep breath and asked the guy where my wife was. You all cannot imagine how nonchalant he looked even after I called Florence my wife. He leaned on the door and raised his brows. He even went as far as stroking his chin and eyeing me up and down. I was surprised when he said, "So you are the old man that does not know how to handle a woman." I was enraged. How could a boy I was practically capable of giving birth to ask me such a question? I had to control myself that day because I knew that it was not his fault. If he had the audacity to say that to me, then it was my wife who gave him the liberty to do so. She must have been saying degrading things about me to him. My dear Redditors, can you imagine that? When I found out my wife was cheating many weeks ago, I was heartbroken, but I never imagined that she'd go as far as saying awful things about me to her lover. Who does that? The funny part is that she told him I could not handle her. I feel disgusted. Maybe my wife is really a child in an adult body. I'm sorry for deviating, guys. I just had to use this medium to vent out the anger I felt after that stupid boy said those words to me without any hint of fear. After he said those words to me, I pushed him back into the apartment. He almost lost his footing because he was surprised and ended up on the couch. I searched around for my wife and found her struggling to put her bra on. You needed to see how messy her hair looked. She looked like a fucking whore. Yes, I said it. I called my wife a whore, and I'm not afraid to say it again. When I saw how dirty she looked, I could not help but lose the little respect I had for her. When our eyes met, I could see the embarrassment in them, but not once did I see a single trace of guilt in her eyes. She finally got her bra on, then raised her head up high like she had won a Nobel Prize. I shook my head in disgust and asked her, "Is this the gift you want to give our children when they get back?" My dear Redditors, my shameless wife shook her head and told me she could explain. I had to laugh immediately because I found it very funny. Every single person caught cheating seems to feel the need to explain. Explain what? Explain how you decided to open your legs for a man you're 20 years older than just because you wanted to cheat on your own husband? I called her a whore right there and then. Her little plaything had the audacity to tell me, "Don't you dare call her a plaything." I felt like snapping his tattooed head in half, but I didn't. Not because I didn't want to, but because I knew I would not win a fight with him. He is young and agile. I might not be old, but my bones are definitely not the same. I also didn't want Florence to get the idea that I was fighting for her. I would have been very stupid if I gave her that satisfaction of watching her plaything and her husband wrestling it out. She was a fucking fool, and I had to let her know she was not worth my time or strength. I left the apartment immediately because I'd seen exactly what I wanted to see. Thankfully, I did not feel that heartbroken that day. Maybe it was because I'd seen her with him many times before, or maybe it was because I already knew she had been cheating on me. My wife only came back home 2 hours later. Do you know what that means? She was not afraid to stay back and finish what they had started. That just shows how she has no fucking respect for our marriage. I was devastated to see her walk into the bedroom confidently. I stood up from the bed and asked her to get the fuck out of my house. She told me I was acting irrationally and that I needed to give her time to explain. I was not interested in listening to her explanation, and I made that clear to her, but she was relentless. She told me that even if I had not caught her cheating, she planned to let me know by herself. She said she was sorry for cheating on me, but she does not regret it. Yes, Redditors, she said that. The woman I've been married to for 25 fucking years had the audacity to look me in the eye and tell me she did not regret cheating on me. What's more disrespectful than that? It took all the self-control I had in me not to do something I ended up regretting. If I was in her shoes as a man and I looked into my wife's eyes and told her I didn't regret cheating on her, what would I be called? A liar, cheater, heartless man, blah, blah, blah. Yet, she did not hesitate to open her fucking mouth and say all those disrespectful words. Florence said she didn't cheat just to spite me and that she had her reasons for cheating. Don't they all? She said she wanted to feel alive and free again. She wanted the excitement and adrenaline of her youth and was not getting it from me, so she cheated. She told me that she felt older than her age many times in our marriage, and she hated the idea that we'd been married for 25 years and have been together for 30 years. Florence proceeded to say that she did not like the idea of being stuck with one man for the rest of her life. She needed to explore her life and do whatever she wanted to do with herself. You know what, guys? I've never really understood why people that cheat think they always have some sort of valid reason to do so. It's the most disrespectful thing ever. If you are tired of your partner and want to live freely, why don't you just let them know? Is it not better to break things off with them or get a divorce rather than lying to their face or cheating on them? Why do people always think it's okay to cheat and lie, then come up with the world's most useless excuses? My wife is one of those stupid people. I asked her why she did not let me know that she was tired of our marriage and wanted to feel young again. I asked her why she felt the need to cheat on me with a stupid young boy that spoke like a fool. I did not hold back that day. I cussed at her and called her names. I made sure she felt the heat of what she did to me. I even asked her if she had been cheating on me before our 25th wedding anniversary, and she said yes. That was when I lost it and started throwing things around. She practically blindsided me and made a fool out of me in front of all the people we loved. Do you know the worst part, Redditors? Florence was the one who was in charge of planning our anniversary. I left all the plans to her, and she was the one that executed everything. Can you imagine that she pretended to be so happy and in love with me? We danced around, cut cakes, and even said our vows again. How disgusting can a person be to do that when they were cheating on their partner? Florence said she didn't plan to cheat and that it just happened. She could not resist the temptation because she had longed for the youthful feeling and adrenaline for a long time. I got disgusted and tired of listening to her, so I sent her packing immediately. I practically threw her clothes out of the closet and pushed her out of the room. She tried asking me if she could stay the night, but I refused. I was not that foolish. After everything she said that day, I was sure that I wanted nothing to do with that woman again. That night, after I threw her out, I had to break all our wedding frames and throw them out of the house. I made sure I cleared every single trace of her in that house. I did not want any memories of her lying around my house. I spent hours thinking about what I wanted to do. I knew I did not want to stay married to her, but I did not want to divorce her. If I filed for divorce, I might be the one to part with some of my money. The court doesn't really care who cheated on who. The woman had an upper hand in the court, and that is a fact. I am not a rich man who has houses or cars around the globe, but I am not ready to give a dime to that scheming bitch. I'd rather die than let a single cent of my hard-earned money go to her. My children are coming back home in a few days, and I don't know what to do. I want to tell them their mother is a cheat. One is 21 and one is 19, so there will be no need to fight for custody. They are also in college, so there will be no reason to make schedules and decide where they spend the weekends. I don't know how to tell my children what has been going on. I don't even know if I should tell them at all. I'm stuck between not filing for a divorce and filing for a divorce. I'm also stuck with thinking of how to break the news to my children. I'm not the one who cheated, but I'm practically the one facing the consequences of someone else's actions. I need your help once again, my dear Redditors. My wife has left me between a rock and a hard place. There is practically no reasonable solution in my head right now because I am still in shock. I did not expect things to unfold this way after 30 years of knowing Florence. I honestly believed that we would be together for the rest of our lives. There are no words to describe the level of disappointment, shock, and anger I feel right now. I need the advice of my fellow Redditors now more than ever. Please help me get rid of this huge problem. Update. Whew! What a year it has been. I cannot believe that it's been exactly 1 year since I made this post. Time does really fly. I am beyond thankful to Reddit as a platform and the Redditors that make this platform a safe space for anyone and everyone. You all are always ready to help, no matter how complicated the situation is. It's also very comforting that you all share your own stories and experiences in the comments too. For someone like me who began to question why I was going through that predicament in my life, it felt good to see other people telling me I'm not alone. I cannot thank you all enough. I'm also sorry that it took me one long year to make an update to this post. It's been a crazy year, a year that changed every single thing I thought was part of my life. So my children eventually got back from college, and like most of you suggested, I told them what had been going on. My children were very shocked to hear everything that happened, considering the fact that they celebrated our anniversary with us. They sympathized with me and made me feel a lot better, to be honest. Florence was still their mother, and I did not guilt-trip them into seeing her as someone else. Our family was broken, but my children made me feel much more alive. They took me out to go see movies, and they even had cooking classes with me. Florence moved in with her lover, and the children visited them once in a while. I was very hurt, and it took me a lot of time to come around, but eventually I did. I have decided not to file for divorce because I do not want any legal battle at all. I don't want to be the first one to file for a divorce. I want Florence to file for divorce whenever she wants to. Thanks to my children, I started going on casual dates 3 months ago. They told me it was better I dated other people so I would not feel too lonely at home. I listened to them, and it was great. My first few dates did not really go anywhere substantial, but after some more dates, I met someone I was interested in. We've been dating for 1 month now, and it's been great. I plan on asking her to move in with me if we date for up to 1 year. I really like her, and it's cool that we are actually the same age. She has children too, and it's nice to have someone you share common interests with. Well, my dear Redditors, life has been good for the most part. I've been able to move past the ugly experience I had with my wife. She chose to cheat on me because she wanted to feel young, free, and sexy. Well, I hope she got what she wanted. I really don't care about her any longer. It's been a very enlightening year, but I'm most grateful for the EAP friends I made on Reddit. Your funny comments and outrageous ideas are beyond extraordinary. Some of you have the wildest imaginations ever. You all are the best. I'm looking forward to reading your own life experiences, positive, I hope, and just seeing where the journey of life takes us. What a ride it has been. It was not bump-free, but it was worth it.